Hi folks, I thought I'd do a wee video today. I haven't done one for quite a while. I usually do a load about the watches and outdoorsy stuff. I've just popped up to Glasgow to visit my old mum, and normally when I come up, I fly drive, I come up and I usually get a wee car off of Enterprise. Usually there's something like a Hyundai A80, which is quite good, and sometimes I get other things like the Seat Leon or whatever. This time they were a bit busy. I ended up booking a guaranteed Volkswagen Golf from Europcar. I got a wee bit of a discount with the EasyJet ticket, and it's the 1.6 diesel Blue Motion Tech, I think it is, because it's the extra wee buttons and bits and pieces. And I have to say, it's so good. That's why I'm doing the review. So what we actually got here. Now this, it's a nice place to be. You've got all this chrome stuff around the dash and stuff, sort of mock chrome, quite nice. It's got the auto lights, air conditioning. It's got a sort of a Navi system here, which, I mean, for my like, it's probably got a wee bit too many buttons. I'm used to iDrive a lot of the time. But it's still pretty damn good. It's got the nav, loads of options in there. It's even got a G meter if you want to drive around corners fast. So I'm sure that'll appeal to some people. But it's got the electronic handbrake, like the new Astras do. I'm not a mega fan of the manual, so I prefer the lever rather than these little buttons. But fundamentally it works, and you can do the hill starts with the auto hold option. All in all, it's a brilliant car. I mean, it's comfortable, plenty of adjustment. It's a really nice place to be, and it's really moved on since the days when I had the first generation new Beetle, or other things, you know, like a 52 plate bore or anything in that kind of era. Things have really moved on, and the best bit really is the efficiency. So I took it on a bit of a run. I was getting about 40, between 35 and 45 mile to the gallon in town and sort of extra urban. Due to the lights in Glasgow, a lot of junctions, and it's got the auto stop start, obviously. But this Blue Motion, I took it out on the motorway and I was cruising along about 60 mile an hour constant, and there were times when it's peaking at around about 100 mile to the gallon. Now obviously the road undulates, you're going to get a little bit less than that overall. I think it's currently sitting at 66 miles to the gallon average overall, and that's been probably 20 miles motorway and 30 miles town, so it's obviously biased towards a bit less. I think you could get more out of it if you were doing motorway runs all the time, but I have to say, at that kind of efficiency, you know, you could go mega miles for not a lot of money. I mean, from where I normally am in South Wales, you could get up to London and back for probably maybe just over a tenner in diesel return. I mean, that's insane. It would cost you that for a ticket, probably over the bridge into England and back, a single even. Crazy distances you could get out of it, and even on a run from, say, Glasgow to London or vice versa. I mean, if you're only going to use 4 or 5 gallons of fuel, you're probably talking 25 quid, maybe 30 quid if you get a bit of traffic. Crazy to think you could do that kind of distance for that kind of amount of fuel. So it's a pretty awesome car. There's not a lot it's going to get me out of my 5 Series Beamer, which is a diesel also, and it does about 45 mile to the gallon average. But this, you know, if this was doing, say, 50 miles to the gallon, I'd think, nah, it's not worth changing. But at 65 to and beyond, phenomenal. Pretty comfortable. It's not super flash, it doesn't have the leather seats or anything like that, but it's I'd say a cut above, you know, because I've hired a lot of cars. You know, I've had the Hyundai i30, I've had the Focuses, the Fiestas, a stock Fiesta with the EcoBoost, the Seat Leons, you know, Astras. I've had a hell of a Mazda 3, I've had a hell of a lot of different cars, and I would say this Volkswagen Blue Motion Tech it's a little bit of a cut above most of the other stuff out there in the same sort of class. I was looking at used last night on Auto Trader. There you go, pretend car shopping. And you could, I mean, they're new, they're about 22 grand. I mean, obviously it'll vary with the engine and trim. Used, you can pick them up for like 10 grand. That's crazy. You know, a car that could do this kind of efficiency, or in that kind of league for that kind of money. I mean, that's a real sort of bargain machine. But you're not going to compromise on the car. The car's still an awesome car. You know, there's a reasonable space in the back if you've got sort of like teenage kids and, you know, up to a point anyway. Adults maybe a wee bit more crushed, but it's still quite reasonable legroom. I've got the front seat there, not all the way forward. You could definitely put it back a little, and the person behind would still have a bit of room. So it's still potentially a good family car. I mean, you wouldn't absolutely have to go to an A4 or something like that, or a Passat to get a decent family. This would do 99% of what you want most of the time. Pretty awesome car. So I'm quite impressed. I definitely wouldn't rule out switching to something like this. So it's been quite a smooth ride up, and I think if you gave it the full chat, it would still shift when you needed to enough. I mean, it's not going to be a sports car per se, but it's still got a bit of pull. You know, nice, very nice. There you go. So the Blue Motion VW people will be very happy with that, I'm sure. But yeah, that's signing off now, and I'll get back down the road. Take care, folkies.